How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think it's a reality check. As you say, you got off to the perfect start. Exactly what you need in a European night. Start fast, get yourself in front, build on it, 2-0 up. But then from that moment, Real Madrid came back into it, scored quite quick, fantastic goal. From then, Liverpool were dominated and outclassed for large periods from there.
How worrying to concede 5?
Well, look, I think...
Finally, you can buy English football at a very low price. Enjoy Premier League and Champions League full replay matches, as well as analysis shows from Premier League TV, BBC, BT Sports, and Sky Sports. Uncut with full footage. Enjoy weekend reviews, previews, tactical analysis, and more. Join us today at the link in the description below, www.primeshows.net.
And a quite extraordinary game of football. How do you even begin to describe what happened out there?
Yeah, best with the beginning. It was outstanding. It was us in a nutshell. It was perfect. Exactly how we wanted to play. Caused some problems all over the place. We're really in the game. Super intense start. 2-0 up. I think the whole first half was good. Besides the goals, obviously the first goal. We became slightly passive, a bit higher up the pitch already. We were not chasing them where we had to chase them, because this is a team, when you let them, when you get passive, this is you get punished. We realized in that moment, and the second goal is slapstick. Should not happen, can happen. And it's 2-2, but the feeling in half time was rather, they probably think we cannot do it again, but we can, and we can change 5 times, and then we can keep the rhythm and these kind of things. But then the first situation, pretty much, they played a long ball to Vinicius. He's in that 1-1 situation. I'm not sure it's a foul, but in the end, he whistles it. And then how we defend that is obviously not okay. That's then the 3-2. And that doesn't help. Against a team who is obviously outstandingly good in counter-attacks, it doesn't help. And so we played there in their cards and could not really get back on track anymore. You need to play a game like we played in the first half for full 95 minutes. That's possible, but you need to... get the momentum back, and after we conceded 2 goals, and with the 3-2, that was exactly the opposite. They became more confident and scored, great goals. One was deflected, I think, and that's how it is. And it's obviously it's a strange one, but we lost 5-2, and we know that as well. But there's a lot for me to take from as well, to be honest.
It's intriguing, the comment about being passive. Do you think that can sometimes happen when you've gone ahead and started a game so well that it can happen to the players on the pitch?
Yeah, of course it can happen. How I said, not each team uses that then in the manner they do. But I think in a situation they score, we have like 5 or 6 players around. And no challenge. That's obviously, that cannot happen. We were passive until the ball arrived there, and then we obviously was a little bit, take you, I'm there, whatever. That's then how that goal happened. Can happen, but should obviously not happen. You can, if the only way you can make, if you wanna slow down, whatever, how you want to say, the game a little bit, is in possession. You have to keep the ball then. But then we started, obviously, second half especially, we lost balls in strange moments. So first half, we played in the half spaces sensationally well. In the second half, the wrong players were in the half spaces. We played the ball there, and they could win it. Then it's a massive challenge to organize the protection, because they leave then Vinicius and Benzema up front. The center halves have to be really... You have to step really into the pitch to block or defend Benzema, and Vinicius is pretty much not to defend then, because with the speed he has, and he has nothing else to do than pretty much to wait there and just show his skills.
And 2-2 at half time. Coming out for that second half, the game was still there for the taking, wasn't it? So what was it that changed for them? Did they show their experience out there?
Yeah, in moments then, of course, as well, but it was the start. I think it was wasn't it the first ball? First ball they played to the left side, which they couldn't do that in a complete first half. That simple. So we didn't go out and try to defend or attack the the centre half. Was it Camavinga? Was it, don't know who played that ball? Maybe Militao. But then it's a 1-1 situation, and then Joey goes on that side. It's fine. And I think we defend then the situation in the moment. But then he goes to the free kick, and again, a free kick can happen. But then this space, that's not possible that the players let alone. That's really not possible. But it happened, and that's why we were at the 3-2. And then, how I said, then you feel intensity. If you don't get that, then you don't feel intensity, and you keep going. That's not a problem. But you have to keep the momentum. And there we lost it, and didn't get it really back, to be honest.
Well, it's only halfway through the tie. It's going to take something pretty special to turn things around. However, Liverpool were written off against Barcelona a few years ago, and you managed to do that, but that was at home.
Exactly.
So is it going to be even more difficult to do it at the Bernabeu?
Yeah, of course. But we will go there and we'll play a football game. Now, it's not the best start for it and the best basis for it. We didn't create that tonight. Obviously, everyone knows when we saw it tonight how good they are in counter-attack if we have to score goals there. And they can, in their own stadium, each single counter-attack can be the decider. So it will be a massive challenge. But we have a little time until then. We have to play in our Premier League. We have to recover and make sure that we take the right things from this game. And and the rest we have to learn from as well.
Thanks, Jürgen.
You're welcome.
It is when you concede that many goals, and it weren't good enough.
To come here and to manage this crowd, we were walking around up to the studio from our position before on the pitch, all looking at each other going, wow, this place is bouncing, they're up for it. Went 2-0 down, and then being able to manage that as well in this cauldron. It was the size of that job the task they had ahead of them at that period when they went 2-0 down, the experience to manage the game and to get back in. I think I agree with Stevie, they scored at good times, scored quick, but the class in those players, the experienced players and the younger players, the blend that they have on that pitch, I never had them down as being a team that capable to repeat and win again, but now after that you have to put them in there.
Sometimes in football you've got to hold your hand up and say the best team won, you're outclassed, you were dominated, they were better. In most areas of the pitch, you'd have to say. They got off to a slow start, but their experience, their reaction was absolutely top class. And we're witnessing here absolute greatness in Modric and Benzema. You know, you're talking about players that are operating on a different level than most.
What you have got, though, is a Liverpool team that they play in a way that if it crumbles, you know, a good team like Real Madrid can pick them apart. They're so brave, and that's why they're so good. You know, when they're on, and they're impossible to stop. But when it's just not going right, they can be picked apart, and especially against good teams like that.
I think a great thing about this Real Madrid team as well is they have a number of players who can take the ball and take the sting out of the game. Modric for one, Benzema another, Vinicius, Rodrigo now starting to do it. Those players, they give you that little bit of time and
young
composure.
Kids are doing it. Camavinga's doing it. Like, he's 20 years old, but he's receiving the ball in tight areas like a really mature, experienced player with under pressure.
Yeah, fair play, Jordan, coming out and speaking to us after that defeat. Never easy. Let's go pitch side, because there aren't many people left in Anfield, as you can see. Just some celebrating Real Madrid fans. They don't want to leave. Who can blame them? And Peter Crouch. Look, Peter, Jordan made the point there that they've got to recover from this quickly, and they do, don't they? That's the key here for Jurgen Klopp and his team.
Yeah, it's a massive blow for them. I thought the second half was incredibly disappointing. You know, Real Madrid blew them away. I think I was right behind the dugout and behind Jurgen Klopp, and I think the third goal was the killer, really, because you can get undone by Benzema, Modric, bits of class, but from a set piece and it's quite a simple run. To concede that third goal was the real killer, and Jurgen was incredibly disappointed by that. And then Real Madrid just took the game away from Liverpool. I thought the boys touched on it in the studio there. Camavinga, Modric just have the ability to take the sting out of the game, and that's what they did, and that's why they proved that they're champions at the minute.
Stephen, it's easy to say this is Real Madrid, European champions, and they had a brilliant night. What did Liverpool, though, need to do to understand what went wrong from their perspective this evening?
I think what you need to understand is against high-class opposition and world-class individuals, you can't afford to make individual errors. You've got to defend well from set plays, and to take an advantage there, they had to defend an awful lot better than they did tonight. They did play well for chunks of the first half. They got off to an incredible start. Obviously, the goal that Alisson gives away is disappointing, but for me, I said at half-time, okay, They've got back into the game. It's a level, and the first half was pretty even. They had both 2 goal line opportunities, you know, where there was fantastic tackles, Andy Robinson and Carvajal. So it was very even at half time. They had to reset. They had to come out in the second half with a different mentality. Rio said it'd be aggressive, be on the front foot again, start pressing again. Liverpool come out slow, and they conceded an incredible poor goal from a set piece, because you can't all be in one straight line, Jake. You've got to have that set up differently, and you've got to defend it like a corner, and they didn't. That gave Real Madrid big confidence tonight.
We'll have a proper look at all of the goals. Peter, just coming back to you for a final question. Look, there's no away goals in the competition this year, but Liverpool are still going to have to go and score 4 goals in the Bernabeu to beat Real Madrid over 90 minutes. What chance?
No, it's a big ask. You can't write them off. Liverpool have come back before, but the way Real Madrid played tonight, you think it's a big ask for them.
All right, thanks a lot, Peter. Take care. Let's get into the analysis now. I think we should, there's a lot to look at. Let's go first of all on the touchscreen, and this was pure quality from Liverpool. This was almost the best moment.
Absolutely, the perfect start. There's 3 great passes within this clip. And first, I just want to pose a question to Stevie, actually, because when we see Trent Alexander-Arnold just looking up here, and we'll pause it, I just want to show where Cody Gakpo is. And we've seen, he's in this place here, but we've seen him and Nunez, Stevie, playing almost opposite to where you would expect them. Nunez on the left side and Gakpo in central. Why do you think they're playing like that? They have done for the last couple of games as well.
Yeah, I think Jurgen and his staff, they like to play with a false 9. I think Gakpo's suited to play with his back to play more than Nunez. They see Nunez as more maybe a runner who can break lines. Maybe he can evolve into a false 9. Firmino's obviously been out injured. I think Gakpo's got that little bit more cleverness where he can receive on the back of the mid to play, a little bit more comfortable doing that, and then it gives the pace to Salah and Nunez going the other way.
Yeah, and that's almost as borne out by this goal. You've got Nunez coming in, using his pace from the right-hand side. The second brilliant pass in this is by Cecic to outright here as well. Great touch under pressure. And then I think that this is a brilliant overlap. This almost takes the man away and leaves Mo Salah basically with a free pass. And you don't need to give him any time whatsoever. And then, of course, we see a run here across the front man, or in between actually, but across the front post. And it's a quite wonderful finish. We didn't talk about it in any detail at half-time. But that was such a good finish, a confident finish, a lad that has split a bit of opinion, don't get me wrong. I mean, I watch him sometimes and I've got my head in my hands, but sometimes I watch him
when he plays on instinct.
He's raw. I mean, I didn't think he'd be this raw when he came to Liverpool. I thought paying that money, when I watched him here in the Champions League last year, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and he does things that take your breath away, but he is going to have to be coached to be a top player. I mean, the player I'd probably liken him to, not in the same style, but when Didier Drogba came to these shores, people laughed at him for the first year or so. His touch was awful. He made a lot of mistakes, but he just got used to this guy. And I think that this lad can be similar. I think he's really, really raw. He's got to take a lot of coaching, but he's got the hallmarks of being a top player.
He's got the raw materials, hasn't he? He's got credentials that as a defender, his profile